Hey everyone, my name is Arthur. Welcome to another Brooklyn Camper Vans tour. We have a van today that is part of our art series. As you might have remembered, we did the Zen Artist van, which was a beautiful, calming van that we did in collaboration with a local artist, where we used Chinese rice paper and created something very magical, never before seen. With this van, we partnered with some other artists. We did some beautiful botanical wallpaper, custom made for this van, and we partnered with some expert woodworkers to create some really fine details. I'm gonna pass it off to Oliver, who's gonna give you an in-depth tour.
So this is a really cool van. It's based on a 144 wheelbase, so a short wheelbase. Because it's a spec van, so for sales, we always try to keep the outside pretty clean and minimal. But let's start from the top. So as always, we have the Unaka roof rack. This is paired with the Fiamma F45S awning. And then one little hint of off-road is actually the light bar. We actually tested this really cool light bar that has amber and white lights, and it's paired with the fairing custom made by Unaka for us. And then typical as we do, it's the power step, because these vans are pretty tall and we just want to make it as easy as possible to go up and down. But come inside, I'll give you a tour of the incredible interior that we built. The galley, it's in the middle. It's our fixed bed layout in the 144, so it's really cool. We always love to have the galley in front of here because you can cook, and on a beautiful day you just have the door open and you can just entertain and talk to all your friends. So the first thing that comes to your eyes from that perspective is this really beautiful, unique one-off hand-painted wallpaper. So in this specific decision, making the design process, we decided to do ceilings and the passenger side wall, and to keep the driver wall absolutely clean, so it just balanced out. I know it's a really unique wallpaper, so if the client decides to buy this van and change it, it's super easy to be removed and replace it with other wallpapers, or if you actually want to go back to other colors, we can make that happen. Another big thing that you can see from that angle is the upper cabinets. So to match the fluted oak cabinets, we made custom upper cabinet doors, all solid oak, of course. And if you can see, they have the frosted plexi, so you can see the light coming through. One fine little details that you're gonna see throughout the entire van, the cohesive design to just bring all together, it's brass. So brass is the look of all the accessories in the van. So we custom inlay thin strips of 1/8 inch brass all over the upper cabinets to create one continuous look. Small little hints of oak. You're gonna see that the entire shower frame is made out of oak. And of course, the most beautiful part of this fan, it's these fluted cabinets. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. They are solid white oak that has been constructed and built in the shop. We miter the corners so it looks seamless. We have a really expert woodworker of the shop and made everything so seamless. But let me show you a little bit more about some details. Because they're fluted, it's hard to have all the accessories, so we fully recessed the entire fridge, always keeping the fluid look, and then same for all the handles. So all the handles are fully part of the design. And of course it took a really long amount of time to make such a beautiful process, which probably it won't be happening ever again. So, you know, this is the opportunity to own a one-off van. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the design choices that we made in this van. So all throughout white oak, and for countertops, we decided to go with these Duracane. And to balance the entire design, the shower tiles are really cool and simple, clean, white look, so it doesn't overpower the entire van designs. Okay, so let's talk about power. So as you follow us before, we use EcoFlow. In this specific van, it has an EcoFlow power kit, 10 kilowatt, so 2 5 kilowatt batteries, and it of course recharges 3 ways. So shore power, driving with the alternator charger, and then solar panels. This van has 535 watt. A couple of more things, of course, tons of space in the upper cabinets. These are really cool. We get tons of compliments. These are retro style microwaves, brand new. Next to the microwave, we have our control center. Super simple. This is your control from your gray water tank. You just dump it anytime you like without crawling under the vent, and it's an electronic valve, so it can be open and closed. The gray water heat, it's basically the gray water tank on the outside of the vent is fully insulated with a heating pad, so you can actually stay true off-grid camping in the winter. And then we have these USB charger The way that we decided to go here at the shop is we always use this little cigarette lighter so you can actually keep up with the change in connection with your phones, because we all know it's never one connection, they keep changing them. And then let's talk about a little bit more about control systems. So for all the liquids and levels in the vent, you have the Pico monitor. So Picos shows you your fresh water and gray water levels, and of course it shows you if the vent is level or not. At the shop, we're not that level, so it's a little wonky, but it's a really cool way to just know if you're level or not when you go to sleep. And then to finish up this side of the van, I'm gonna have Arthur go a little closer, but you'll see at the end of the upper cabinets, we have our really cool CCTV system. So it just keeps track of all your four corners and it shows you what's going on outside. And you know, it's kind of nice when you're all ready to go to bed and you can see the outside and you know what's going on. And then right here on the other side of the van, on the passenger side, you have the EcoFlow panel controller. Really cool. You can monitor all your batteries. You can see that there's 2 5-kilowatt batteries, how much percentage you have, how many hours you have left. And then on the input, you can of course control all the inputs. You have 2 inputs for the solar panels, the alternator, your shore power, and then output is where you can control everything. And it's kind of cool that you can see in the top right corner, this van is outfitted with a Starlink. So Gen 3 Starlink, welcome to New York. The most beautiful part about the Starlink conversion to 12 volts is the fact that it uses a lot less energy. You can stay always on. Well, that makes it a really smart home. So you can control and monitor all the climatization inside the van, which makes it really, really safe. If you want to leave your dog and go for lunch or go for a hike, you always have your eye on the dog, which is, for me, one of the most important things. But let's continue with the tour in that little corner. Underneath the EcoFlow, we have the Webasto. So Webasto, this is specifically built with an Evo 40, which is really, really powerful. It has altitude adjustment up to 14,000 feet, and it has really, really powerful. Simple use, you turn on, select your temperature with the dial, you click at the bottom to set OK, and then to the top to start heating. And then underneath it, you find your stove side outlet. These are all GFCI, like all throughout the vans to keep it safe. And then this is the controller of the overhead lights in the cabin. So everything is dimmable, because when you're in the darkness of nature, you just really don't want super bright light all the time. And then same on the other side, you can see that we have the dimmer for, we call it the reading light. So it's this really beautiful diffuse light under the cabinet. You can fully dim on both sides. And then you have your sink side outlets, GFCI, of course, as well. So let's talk a little bit about quantity of water and gray water. So most of the vans that we do are always equipped with a 40 gallons water tank and then a 10-gallon gray water tank. The reason why we do 10-gallon gray water tank is because there's no black water in this entire van. So if you're conscious about what you put in the sink and in the shower, if you use biodegradable soap, you're allowed to just dump it anywhere you like. So if you have a smaller gray water tank, it's just perfect if you're in a camp spot and you don't want to just trickle water, so you keep it closed, and then as soon as you drive off, you can just damp your tank. And then let's finish up on this side. So in these beautiful countertop, you're gonna find the stove. These are induction stove. They're really safe to use. They only turn on if they recognize the pot, so nobody can actually burn their hands. And then underneath it, it's the Dometic. So this is a Dometic CRX 80. Really cool because it has a little removable freezer compartment, and then of course tons of storage. Okay, so while we're here, let's talk about this absolutely beautiful shower. So the first thing that you can notice is that we use Nebbia shower heads. These are actually long enough that you can rinse outside, and then you can put it back inside. Magnetic mounts on the top, and then dimmable light, and of course controllable from the shower. So if you want to take a shower in the morning and keep the rest of the lights off, you can. And then this van is equipped with a dry flush toilet. It's empty because it's just been installed. But if you want to know a little bit more, it's a super simple waterless toilet. So it has a lanyard inside, which is basically a cartridge, and it just has 20 uses. Once you're done, you just throw away the entire cartridge and you just put a new one. At the bottom of the shower, onto our stainless steel custom pan, there is a teak mat, fully removable, so you can wipe everything down. And quick thing, note, the toilet is removable. So if you want to take a shower, you can fully remove it because it's not attached to any plumbing. I am sitting in a really comfortable dinette. It's a 144, so of course everything is a little shorter. So we have the driver and passenger swivel seats with a lagoon table that can reach both of us, of course. And then this works as well as a beautiful workstation for the passenger. So the passenger seat can rotate a little bit more, and this becomes your little office. That being said, let's talk about climatization in this van. So we talked about Webasto before, and to keep it cool, the van has, of course, two ways. The first one is the Max Air fan. It works as an exhaust fan or fan. Perfect exhaust when you're cooking and it's raining outside. It takes all the smell away. And right behind you, we have the air conditioning. So this van has been equipped with the RTX 2000. It's a really cool, efficient 12-volt air conditioning made by Dometic, and it chills the place with no issues. Also, because we put a lot of thought behind the walls, we insulate the walls and the ceilings with sheeple, which is the most natural way to insulate a van. Also because we have a big philosophy within the shop that you're living in a small quarter, in a small space, and so we try to use the most natural materials and low VOC paints and glues and everything, because we just want to pay attention to what we put in the walls. Okay, so let's switch places. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the bed area. So this van has been fitted with a really, really cool custom fitted 6-inch memory foam mattress. So it takes advantage, of course, of the vent speed back capsule, which, let me remove my shoes, and I'm 5'9", and you can sleep up to 6'4". So I'm 5'9", and I still have a full 6 inches behind my foot and a couple of inches at the back. And the really cool part is that it's fully customized to all the nooks and crannies of our designs. So it maximizes the entire space, and it's almost 60 inches to the door. So if I close the doors literally kiss the mattress, so it takes advantage of all the space. And then a couple of things, it's super durable, the fabric, and then if you notice the zipper here in the middle, it's because the van can go in couch mode. And then right behind you, there is a projector screen. So you can watch a full movie right inside your van with a really cool lounging couch, and it's the best. So we run RGB strips in the bump outs and of course in the toe kicks, which is a perfect soft lighting for movies. And also another thing that you can notice in our vent speed back capsules is the fact that we outfit them, of course, with bunk windows that have bug screens on both sides, and it's kind of the perfect way to create a cross breeze in the morning when you want to just, get a breath of fresh air. And also they're all outfitted with magnetic blinds, so you can fully go blackout mode when you go to bed. That's enough for the inside. Follow me in the back, and I'm going to show you more about the electrical system and the garage, everything in the back. So we custom ordered this vehicle from Mercedes-Benz, and it's fully spec'd out. And my favorite feature, it's this. Fully electric sliding door. And while the door is slowly closing, you're going to see two things. One, that the AMP step up just fully retracts when it's done, and also it just revealed the bed capsule. So with this specific van, we paint match the collar with the rest of the van, so it makes it really, really stealthy and nice. Okay, so coming back, let me tell you a little bit more about the garage. So first thing, you can see that the bed is still in couch mode from the inside. These are our locking mechanism, like a futon. Controllable light for the garage, it's here in the back. And then you can see our electrical system. So this is what I said before, it's the EcoFlow power kits. We absolutely love these systems. So let me tell you why we love them. So the first thing is the 5-year warranty. This is just a beautiful peace of mind. If you're across the nation, you're in California, you're not close to Brooklyn, something fails or is not working, they do drop ship anywhere within the 48 states within a couple of days, which is amazing. So if this is your house, you want your battery replaced as fast as possible. And of course, we help you guide through all that process. They're really powerful, really reliable, And if you actually look online, now major companies start implementing these systems. So Revel now has all these in their new Revel 144 sprinters. So we've been using these for close to 5 years, and they're just amazing. Okay, so let's talk about water system. And in all our vans, we put the water system on one side and the electrical on the other one, so the balance, of course, weight-wise. This van, like most of the vans that we build, is equipped with a 40-gallon water tanks, water pump, and of course, pressure regulator. And then we have a dump valve and of course, a winterization kit. Super easy, takes 5 minutes to winterize it, but also it's the same way that an RV will be winterized. So if you don't feel like winterize it, you can just drop it off at any RV shop and they'll do it for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. This van is for sale, so if you're interested, reach out to us at info@brooklyncampervans.com, or you can go directly on the website on the for sale page. As I said before, this van has still a couple of accessories that you can still attach to the outside. Arthur, you can show them probably that one. So you can still put owl monster boxes, bike racks, ladders, tire carriers, hitch trailer bikes, still tons of other things that you can add. And also a couple of things inside can still be customized. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us, and if you're in Brooklyn, stop by the shop, give us a call. We'll love to show it to you in person. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.